All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? The ayes carried. We're out of executive session, back in open meeting. So we went into executive session because we had quite a few legal questions that we needed to ask our legal counsel. We have come to the decision. Well, this is based on the decision now. They're making the decision now.
Yeah. So that makes it seem like you were discussing more than the legal questions in there, that you were actually deciding what to do.
Based on the legal questions.
Not appropriate. It's an executive session. The recording is not working. Violation of the open meeting law. It hasn't been working since the beginning.
How do you know that?
We were informed. Somebody reached out to phone it's not being recorded. Well, I'm not here. It's not there.
So, question for time. Joe, got a question for you. So, if in fact the meeting was not being recorded, does this make the meeting null and void, or how does that work?
No, it's still open to the public. It doesn't. We're not obligated to broadcast every meeting. There's total public access on the meeting today. It's unfortunately it wasn't recorded, but you're going to have minutes that we adopt.
Every meeting held in its member is recorded and broadcast.
But I think for me, Joe, that's not a legal requirement.
I believe you can proceed. You guys have that. I think you should have a discussion as to why you're making the decision. It's not a legal aspect, but obviously you have a concern that you want to see the Common Council address.
Okay.
I think you want.
So, make it.
I think you want to call for discussion. Let your board members offer input in that.
Okay. That'll work. So, we're going to open this to an open discussion with the board members. After hearing all our legal options, what is your decision on what we need to do as a board? Terry, we'll start with you. After going through all the legal decisions that we had as counsel, what is the discussion? What is your discussion on what we should do with the board?
We'll be asking for a formal resolution from the city council in regard to acting as legal.
There's
still a lot of concern about where we would stand if they sued us individually. And none of us want to take on that. So the discussion from the legal counsel was that it would probably be wise to make this a little more, the letter was very nice, but to make it a little more formal and make it a resolution and call a special meeting to have the resolution put forth. Or if that doesn't happen, then we need to wait until the appellate court renders it.
Okay.
Well, I think there is a great concern that between all of us that we could be sued individually, regardless of. So we're asking the council. We want to guarantee that we're going to be, we were told by legal counsel from the mayor's office that we will not be, if we continue, we will be breaking the law and we will not be covered. That's exactly what they said.
Buy insurance and get hired attorneys to cover it.
Well,
You don't need the council to tell you that. Just so you know,
There's also discussion among several members who don't want to.
who don't want to what?
Wait, so I want to continue what?
Being board.
Being board. If you can't do the job, then
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, I think they're pretty close to saying that. We think of everybody's coming up saying, we were trying to do a community thing for help, and being constantly harassed.
There's also the concern that even if the appellate court rules on this too, that it will not specify how it applies to Syracuse. Courts only answer the narrow questions that are in front of them, and they have not been asked how this case applies to Syracuse. So they can rule against Rochester, and that will not resolve the question as to if Locus 2 applies to Syracuse. And so even if the appellate court makes their decision, that doesn't resolve any of the questions that you have about the legality of the CRB in Syracuse. And so when you say that you want to wait for the appellate court decision, you're waiting for something that is not going to resolve any of the questions. Which makes that is fair. They could optionally decide to do so, but they are not required to. Right? And so you could potentially be pausing indefinitely.
You've listened to the Corporation Counsel and the attorney who I respect that works for the Corporation Counsel. But how many of you have watched the Public Safety Committee meeting and heard the other legal opinions? I only saw one person there. Only one person. How many of you have listened to those legal opinions?
You know, I'm going to make a statement. I want to know, by a show of hands, everyone who's sitting in this office, if I'm being sued, you will put up the money as legal counsel for me being sued.
You have a budget to buy.
No, and we're not talking about it.
We don't need to put it up. You have a budget.
My tax is really paying for it.
My tax is okay. Yeah, I'll pay it. I'll pay my tax.
Please use my taxes for that.
It's all good and well, but when the bottom line comes down, and all of a sudden I'm in deposition, and
You use the CRB money to hire an attorney. How difficult is that?
do you realize how expensive the court case is?
And what about all the people being harmed by police that aren't getting any justice right now because you're not doing your job?
But you
If we ask this to even stand up for you, we will.
Have you sought directors and officers insurance so that you would be indemnified? Have you even inquired about it?
have you consulted with an attorney to get an estimate as to how much it would cost to make sure that you can do it in your budget?
Or a second opinion from a different lawyer.
Well, here's the thing with the insurance. If we get an insurance, we get sued. The problem is the insurance company is going to say, you knew, you were told not to do this, and you do it therefore the is now void because you violated what we were told not to do.
And you're an attorney that understands how directors and officers insurance work. I don't think so. Seek an attorney that does not have a conflict. Your attorney has a conflict.
And that means not one of the same law firm either.
Not somebody in the Syracuse power structure.
Excuse me a moment, please. I have a 3-minute presentation that will explain what's going on with the Syracuse Corporation Council. She has a distinct conflict of interest. She is engaged in severe official misconduct, and I would like to take those 3 minutes. I'm certain the audience will be very interested in what's going on. She is not representing the city. She is not representing the mayor, Sharon Owens. She's representing herself and the Syracuse police, and that is extremely serious. I have the evidence, and I'm asking for 3 minutes to read my presentation as prepared.
It's up to the board whether to grant the form. Well, we're in discussion, so you're going to have to...
Wait till after that.
That position is said that she has all this evidence, which you need to go to the DA's office or the 5th District Grievance Committee. This is not the forum for that evidence that the court counsel has somehow done something grievous. It's just not the forum.
This is not a grievance. This is my comment section. And you're trying to cut me off because you know that I have evidence against Ms. Katzoff, class of 1, notice the claim I'm filing this week. Which attorney are you, may I ask, so I know? You're an attorney.
My name, if you look up the CRB, the name is right on there.
Why don't you just tell me?
Because we asked you to knock this off so we could actually have a discussion. This has nothing to do with the CRB. You're wasting our time.
The Corporation Counsel is threatening them with personal liability. How does that have nothing to do with her? Which attorney are you, may I ask, so I know? You're an attorney.
My name, if you look up the CRB, the name is right on there.
Why don't you just tell me?
Because we asked you to knock this off so we could actually have a discussion. This has nothing to do with the CRB. You're wasting our time.
The Corporation Counsel is threatening them with personal liability. How does that have nothing to do with her? So are we not going to have a comment section just to understand?
That has nothing to do with the CRB. The CRB is to handle citizen complaints against the police department.
And that's what I have. I'm asking for my 3 minutes once everyone has it.
3 minutes has got to be towards what's actually going on with the board.
It is what's going on. You haven't allowed me to read it. You're just.
Unfortunately, we are not here to make a decision on what happened with this.
So okay, so I can understand. You're telling me that if the Citizens Review Board, that a citizen comes with a prepared statement about corruption in the Syracuse Police Department, that when I call the Internal Affairs, they hang up on me, and I have plenty of evidence. I tape recorded them. For me, there is no access to any source of oversight. And I'm asking to read a two.
If you're having an issue with the police department is under the jurisdiction of the mayor. You need to talk to the mayor about that, about the issue if you're having a problem.
No, I have a problem with the evidence for the Citizens Review Board that has a duty to hear me out, is what I'm saying. 3 minutes, and it's probably 2 minutes.
We don't have the time to do that.
You don't have the time?
To where we were at, we're trying to get this resolved about the CRB and our responsibilities and what we
This is all about the CRB. You just you're not allowing me to speak.
Unfortunately, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Okay, and which you are?
I am Mr. John.
You are John.
John.
Yeah, I've sent you emails. Have you received them?
I received an email.
Okay, so that's why the hostility towards me is because of my emails that state that the Citizens Review Board has a duty to proceed and to obtain a separate outside legal counsel because Ms. Katzoff is representing the Syracuse Police in corruption.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, well.
I'm sorry. Any other discussion?
I would hope that anybody who is uncomfortable, we can all relate to that. You are here to represent the citizens. You're asking for support. I'm sorry if you feel the way. I'm sorry about that. That's people being aware of their harm. So what I would like to ask is if there's any situation to just step it down. And the day to the public so that we know that these positions are available. It isn't productive to just kind of sit here and talk about being lawsuits and then telling you that you're money. If you're not comfortable, I would never want somebody to operate or represent or do anything that you're not comfortable doing because you're not going to comfortably protect or investigate what's happening to citizens. That shouldn't have to happen because right now they're in a weak spot. They can't make any complaints. You're stuck. So anybody who doesn't feel stuck, you're the great example, you're the great way to just everything is not to everybody. Move over and allow people who are willing to step up and step into this position. It will take some time. You get work. Thank you.
So as a CRB staff member, my position will be complicated because I'm both a member of the staff and also a member of the public. So I'm going to be speaking more as a member of the public today and less as a CRB staff. However, my opinions are often informed by my experience as a staff. I'm going to start off with a report.
This is not a grievance. This is my comment section. And you're trying to cut me off because you know that I have evidence against Ms. Katzoff, class of 1, notice the claim I'm filing this week. Which attorney are you, may I ask, so I know?